Hi Shrey, thank you for joining us today. So across this series, we've talked a lot about retail participation across capital markets, but where do you see the rise of retail participation across debt capital markets?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. And if you think about debt capital markets or bond markets, what's really interesting now is that there's income again in fixed income. If you think about a bond is ultimately an investment. You get an income through a coupon, which pays out regularly for the term of the bond. But a bond also has a price. It goes up and down based on the prospects of the company or what's happening in the world around it. Bond markets are a $7 trillion size market annually,
Wow.
which is substantially larger than equity markets, at least within primary markets. So there's a real opportunity over here because bonds have largely been the domain of wholesale investors, but that's changing now. In the UK, for example, the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, is consulting on rule changes to make it simpler for UK equity-listed companies to issue bonds in smaller denominations so that you or I could hold it in our portfolios. And that's a generational change because the regulatory environment that we had didn't allow that in the past. And it allows more opportunities for investors to create wealth creation opportunities for themselves in the future.
But it sounds like there's a lot of regulatory changes across this space. How do you feel that those changes are going to make it easier for a retail trader and investor to participate in debt capital markets, be that a bond, or gilt perhaps?
Yeah, so whether you're a retail investor or you're an intermediary serving your customers, today you can buy a gilt in the market. It's not well known, but you can put an order through your platform into a primary auction. You can buy a treasury bill. And anecdotally, we've heard from our partners within the platform space that investment in gilts has increased substantially as interest rates have gone up. Obviously, there being more income in fixed income again. But you haven't had access to do that for corporates. So it's changing in a number of ways. You should get access to more supply of corporate bonds. There are more corporate bond ETFs to buy in the marketplace as well. There are shorter term products that you can buy like treasury bills, whatever suits your investment profile. The idea is you make fixed income more accessible. And the regulatory change should allow you to do so and get a diversity of asset classes within your portfolio as an investor or as a platform or a broker serving your clients.
And you've talked a lot there about the companies, the corporates themselves. If we turn our attention to that side, what are we doing at the London Stock Exchange to help those companies firstly access those retail traders and investors, but also get their message out and tell their story?
Yeah, well, I think the sheer challenge of today is just helping companies cut through the noise. And that's what we try to do at the London Stock Exchange. So for example, we have a platform called Spark Live, which really serves as a virtual hybrid mechanism for companies to live stream their capital markets days, their investor days, their AGMs directly to the consumer, whether that be a retail trader or whether that be an intermediary. And you can do so. You go on the London Stock Exchange website, you click on the company that you'd want to buy, you can see the range of shares or bonds that they have. You can also see their events on Spark Live. And as a retail investor, you can sign up to these platforms. You can go to the Spark Live Investor app, put in your details, put in which companies you're interested in, sign up to alerts so that you can get content from the companies that you want to have access to directly through the digital platforms that we have. And really, that's what excites us because in today's world, getting that message across, getting the investor story across is as much part of the investment process as the bond or share itself.
This is a really good opportunity, I think, to close off. If I can ask you perhaps to pick one, or maybe there's more than one thing that you are really excited about across retail when it comes to debt capital markets?
That's a tough question, but the one thing I would say is the sheer opportunity which exists for wealth creation. When I joined capital markets, investing or wealth management just seemed a world away. I think today, if you're an investor, you have access to opportunities to put your capital at work in line with what you want to achieve, whether that be through green bonds, bonds which invest in sustainable outcomes, whether that be in line with your religious beliefs, like Islamic bonds or sukuk, where it's a profit share, not an interest rate. The sheer amount of products which are available now in the market, which allow you to shape your financial future, I don't think existed in the past. That's what's really exciting, and that's what connects us to people at the end of the day. And that's what brings me to work.
Well, look, Shrey, I just want to say thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Will. It's such an exciting time in markets, and really, with the amount of change that's happening, stay tuned. There's more to come.